Good morning, Tony Picente. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I wanted to start out by, there are rumors out there, and I'm sure you cannot confirm anything, but rumors in this case seem to be positive. Would you at least agree with that?
Sure.
Okay, that's all you're saying, isn't it?
Sure.
That's the end of that one. Okay, I got a lot out of you there.
Yeah. Next question.
Next question. All right. By the way, we're hearing rumors Thursday something really good could be happening. An announcement. We'll see. Okay. Yesterday, the mayor of Whitesboro was on, and I know we don't want to get into a he said, she said, but I know Jeff has some questions, and based on the numbers, and the mayor is standing by. He presented the figures that came from the comptroller's office. And I'm not sure why this is completely relevant, but I guess it is, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Obviously, just to recap, Mayor O'Connor's point was that, the county is overspending, yet you're looking to take the little chips that we get away from us. Now, he provided information from the state comptroller's office. Tony, I know you talked about this last week a little bit, that shows expenditures basically versus revenue that the county takes in. Can you explain the difference, why this appears this way? And my understanding is it's the difference between general fund budget and the overall budget.
Well, the controller takes every bit of spending that the county does, and that includes pass-through spending, and that includes the sewer district, which I talked about, which is a separate budget, which is not a part of the county budget, but is included in the controller's report. That's a separate fund. MVCC is a separate fund beyond what the county gives. And then the big number that Mayor O'Connor is skipping over in terms of what's considered a pass-through or expenditure is all of the sales tax money that we give to the other municipalities. And if you look at that report, which is why I learned a long time ago, not just for this business, but in everything, that you have to read the whole report. And you have to drill down to every line, especially on an Excel sheet or whatever it is. And one of the big numbers that the mayor is not looking at is, in that controller's report, is the money that the county collects in sales tax, then disperses back to the towns and villages, which is roughly in the 30 million range, above that. So when you look at all the money that comes into the county and gets passed out, the controller looks at that. So, that's money that we don't hold on to. That's the argument, I suppose, that everybody's saying. But nonetheless, it's all the funds, and you just have to look at the whole picture. And I'm sorry that we keep going back. This is round 2 or 3. I'm not sure. The point is, I'd be glad to explain it to them and show it to them in a more concise manner if you wanted to come and see it from me. But I can explain that budget. Yeah. I can explain those sheets. And those numbers do not say that we're overspending at all.
All right, I want to let's wipe. Do you have other questions on the numbers?
No, I just wanted to clarify. I know you did address it before, and I understand the invite that you've extended to the mayor. The issue was brought up, and I'm just saying, John Q. Public can't go to the county executive's office and say, show me the budget and walk me through this. Sure. So that's why I wanted to make sure we addressed it on the air. And I think
fine.
that satisfies it.
The budget's online. Our budget is probably, without a doubt, the most detailed one that you will find I think in the state, because our budget's online. It's available if anybody wants a copy. It has every detail, every position, every person, every number, every penny spent from the previous year and what's proposed. So, our budget is much more complete than any other municipality.
And I'd just like to, as long as you're good with your numbers and all of that, I really want to ask the question. Let's talk about really the elephant in the room, what really is going on here. The mayor is upset along with other mayors in the county. They're upset. They're fearing there's going to be consolidation, and that if they don't consolidate, they're going to lose their sales tax money. So can you address the fact that these guys are uneasy, that this is just going to be pushed I think they fear it's going to be shoved down their throat, and they're not going to have a say. Can you address that at all and just give a little bit of an insight into what's going to happen over the next several months here?
Well, I think, look, if the governor's plan goes through as proposed in the budget, that we would convene local governments to look at ways to consolidate, and then it gets put on the ballot. On the other side, I had already been looking at ways to do that because I'm convinced, and I know a lot of other elected officials, and I thought the mayor was because he had said this to me in a previous conversation, that everybody can't sustain the level of services that they're currently provided, even with or without the sales tax. So the real question in the room is, are you willing to consolidate, not give up services, because that's not the question. The question is, are you willing to give up or to consolidate services with other municipalities to provide those same services at a lower cost? And if you are, then we don't have any problem.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to take anything away from you. But if your concern is that you lose money and therefore you lose, I don't know, your identity, your well-being, that's not the case. Services will still be provided. What is out there can still be given to every level and every person in terms of it. Now, you have to make choices about how deep down you want to provide those services in terms of, what you're actually going to do for your residents. Should every village have a police department? Should everybody do garbage collection? Should everybody do public works? Those are questions. And if you choose that your people want that and they want to pay for it, then I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just saying the revenues are not going to stay the same. The exceeding costs are going to keep growing.
So you would, and do you also see, we might call it a penalty, when it comes to sales tax distribution if a municipality chooses not to consolidate, if it shows that would be in their best interest?
I cannot arbitrarily take away their sales tax. We've been through that formula. Really, the cities are the ones that hold the control, and
Yep.
because of their status as a city, because only 2 municipalities have the ability to collect sales tax, and that's county and city. So without the city stepping aside and allowing a new formula, I don't arbitrarily have the ability, and they should know that.
Got it.
And they do know that. So the point here really is, but with or without sales tax, as I said, as far as the carrot or even the issue of the amount or
Right.
what we're doing. The point is, are you willing to save money?
Yep.
We are. We've done that. Show me. And if not, then your residents are going to have to pay for what they're obtaining.
County Executive, I appreciate it. I know this is the back and forth, and I believe that it basically ends here. It certainly doesn't end here, but our portion of this would end here. And
certainly
I appreciate you coming back on and giving us your take on the whole thing. Finally, Minaski.
No, and this is something I guess we can discuss without the county executive. But if you thought about this on the reverse, if there was consolidation and the governor or a county executive came in and said, you can no longer share services, you have to have your own police department.
Right.
And your own chief and your own officers and your own vehicles. You have
to
have
the ability to do that.
Right. No, and they don't have to do that. But if you thought about that unfunded mandate, if it was reversed.
Right, we'd look at it as an unfunded mandate.
The mayors would go, you can't make us do that.
Yeah.
But you're asking them to consolidate and share services, and it's like.
Hey, I've been through, Tony, a couple of school district mergers, and it's like a civil war. It is not easy to accomplish.
It's unfortunate. I guess the question is, as I've said all along, and I repeat myself ad nauseum sometimes, it's about choices, and it's about, do your residents, putting some of these things on the ballot might be a good idea, but at the end of the day, then don't complain that you're paying too high for the services you have if you want all the services to continue at the same level they are.
County Executive Anthony Picente, thanks so much. And I have a feeling maybe we can book you for Friday if you're going to be available. I think we might want to talk to you on Friday. All right?
Sure.
Thanks so much. Okay.